I think it's very important for us to address the red flag test. Have you ever heard about it? Good. So, if you are beginning to date somebody, to get into courtship or dating or whatever you want to call it, there are some things that has been established that's been causing challenges in relationship. And you want to be able to address these things very early to see if there is compatibility and if it makes sense to move forward in this relationship. What do you think one of those top things should be that you must, one of the must discussion if you're getting into a relationship? Very early. What's one of the top things you want to talk about?
I think one thing that I always bring up is I ask men, I bring up the word feminism and I ask them how they feel about it. And that's usually gives me all the answers that I need to know.
Good. So it's basically, what do you really feel about women?
Yes. And, it's typically like things that have nothing to do with feminism that they respond to, but that still answers my question.
One of the must-ask questions getting into a relationship.
Must-ask question? How do you deal with stress, or how do you deal with like high tense situations? Do you shut down? Do you need time to, go alone by yourself, deal with your thoughts? Do you want to talk about it immediately, confront it head on? Like, I have to understand when we get into a situation where it's just like, it's a little tension, it's a little friction. How are you willing, or how are you best able to handle it?
Okay, so you best grab a pen or use your phone right now and write down these 5 things that you must clarify right up front in as much detail as possible. And if you have a detailed conversation on these 5 things with someone, then you are going to know if I'm ready to move forward with this person or not. And I'm not putting them in no specific order, I'm just throwing them out there. And so, if I'm getting into a relationship with someone, I want to find out, is religion important to you? Because religion has been one of the bottom line things that's been causing problems and confusions in relationships. Now, I have counseled a couple. The woman is a Muslim and the guy is a Jew, and they're married and living together. And for some people, it doesn't matter. Religion doesn't matter. I've counseled people. One person is a Hindu, the other is a Christian, and it doesn't matter. But then there are others where religion comes first, and it matters. And so people fight over religion. You must answer the question, is religion important to me? Is religion important to you? What religion are you, or what religion am I?
What are we going to tell the kids?
What are we going to tell the kids?
Yeah.
Where are we going to point the kids? We must have that conversation. What do you think?
I think you can have different religions. I think the determining factor is how open and tolerant you are of your partner's religion, and kind of like how you will raise your children and what that would look.
Religion.
Heavily on the equally yoked. I definitely believe in that spiritual aspect. You both have to be on that same type of level, that same type of understanding. It's definitely possible for it to work where, you come from different backgrounds and you make it work. But my personal opinion, the closer you guys are, or closer you guys are in understanding, the better. So that equally yoked.
And so Mike used the term unequally yoked. The Bible uses that term. Don't be unequally yoked together with an unbeliever. And what does this unequally yoked really means? I showed the diagram several times. In Bible time, they would use an ox. An ox is a big cow, or sometimes they would use 2. They would yoke them together, put the yoke around their neck, and put them to walk in the field to plow the field. Now, if you're using 2 oxen to plow and they're yoked together, and you have one that is 5 feet tall and one that is 3 feet tall, then you have a problem. So that when the 5 feet one make one stride, the other one have to make several to catch up. And it's important when, as it relates to religion, that you discuss that and understand where do we stand on the question of religion. The next question I want to talk about is the question of money. Is money important in a relationship? Yes, very important. Money can make or break a relationship. It probably shouldn't, but that's the truth. Do you want to make love on hungry belly?
No.
I mean,
No.
let's be factual.
Let's be real.
If you had a choice to get into a relationship where you can be financially independent as opposed to getting in a relationship where you have to be struggling to make ends meet, where are you going to choose? And I'm not going to try to decide that. Is money important in a relationship?
Definitely important
Why?
in a relationship. Just because for me personally, I don't have a mindset of lack. It's not something that I identify with. So money definitely is important. I think the most important part is when you're in a relationship with somebody is to figure out what kind of dynamic you're going to have. I know there's talk of traditional men, traditional women, modern women, modern men. What is it that you're looking for? And make sure you find a partner who's going for the same thing. Because if you're a modern woman and you have a traditional man, or you're a traditional, woman and you have a modern man, they kind of clash financially.
Well, they say opposite attract sometimes, but we're not going to get there yet. They're talking about money. Why is money important? Is it important in a relationship?
Oh, it's definitely important, especially in this day and age. I know a lot of times the pressure is on the man. I want a six-figure man, or he has to be making all this money. No, like once he's able to provide for himself and also you, I think that's bottom line. Like, let's be happy. Like, why are we chasing these unattainable dreams sometimes, Let's be realistic.
So I was talking to this young woman, single, talking, looking, and I invited her to come to my home. And after a nice lunch, I said, "What do you think about my home?" And she said, "Oh, if we are going to get married and move forward, you need to change this, you need to get rid of that, you need to throw that." And she pointed out all that I needed to get rid of.
But do you got the money to buy it?
And I looked at her and I said, "I am going to get rid of all these things.
Right.
What are you bringing to the table?" And she looked at me and she laughed and she think I was funny. Money answereth all things. That's what the Bible say. Gone are the days when a woman thinks you're going to stay home and be a nice, pretty housewife and just file your nails and have fun at home. Those days are gone. I recently, just this week, I told a woman who was in a situation where she did not want to get out and work, if you don't want to get out and earn, you need to find some way to earn from home. There's a lot of things you can do from home in these days to earn. Gone are those days when I'm a housewife, file my nails. No. Those days are gone. I'm sorry. And for those men who think you can take a woman, put her in a box, stay home and eat, don't leave the house, stay out there, you are wasting good times, because I've seen a lot of funny things happening with those kind of women. So don't even go down that road. So what about money? We should talk about money. Talk about money. Talk about everything about money. Do you have debts? Do you have goals? Do you have, like money put away? I mean, what is going to happen when we get married? Are we going to pull our monies to get in one account? Are we going to separate the account? How is the bills going to be paid? You need to ask every question about money and look at each other, look at body language and everything when you're having financial discussions. So we talk religion, we talk money. The next thing we need to talk is family size. Family. Do I have kids? Do I want kids? Do you have kids? If you have kids or if I have kids, how do they share in this relationship? Because a lot of times people want to get married to somebody, but they don't want their family. If you marry to Mike and he's got kids, then you've married to his children also. His children should be a part of the family. And so you need to be able to address, do we want kids at what stage in life? Because see, I was married in my first marriage. I wasn't very excited about having kids then. But then when I became single again and was looking, one of the criteria was she's got to be able to bear kids. And I need kids like right now. I mean, a lot of years went by without kids. See, so you want to be able to discuss and answer those questions. Do we want to put kids in a hole? Do we want them now? How much are we looking for? Do we have any? How do they share in this relationship? I need a 1-minute answer from both you quick on the question of kids. And so we talk religion, we talk money, now we talking kids in the relationship.
I don't got no kids now, but definitely I do want kids. I come from a big family, of course, so that idea of family was always instilled in me. And especially a big one where it's just like we're a village together. So my ideal amount of kids would be like 5. Like, are you cool with having 5 kids? Can we make that work? Is that a possibility? And then it's just like figure it out from there.
So you fall in love with a woman and you didn't realize, you didn't ask that question about kids.
No, I would
Then
ask.
somewhere down the road you realize that she do have a kid or two. Are you willing to continue that relationship with those kids in the relationship?
Am I willing to step up?
Okay. Kids in the relationship.
I don't know, man.
Oh, man, I'm crazy. I do not have any children, but I would love to be a mother. And I would want somebody who wants to be a father, not somebody who just wants kids. There is a
Big difference, yeah.
Yeah, how many? I'd say at least 2, no more than 4 from me. And I'm open to stepping up for children. I love children, so it really wouldn't be anything,
So you're talking to Tom, you didn't realize he had kids, and then you find out you have 1 or 2. Are we continue with this relationship, or?
That's what I'm saying. Like, you gotta know, like,
I would know.
yeah.
Bottom line is you fall, or let's put this where you fall in love with this guy, and then find out that you have kids. Are you ready to move forward?
So if I fell in love with him and I didn't know he had kids before, it would cause me to question him being genuine.
Mm.
If I fell in love with him and we've been dealing with each other for so long and I haven't seen.
Or you didn't trust me enough to even speak about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I definitely feel
Yeah, so the question of kids must come into the relationship. So the next question we want to talk about is sex. Some people have sex, but they don't want to talk sex. And you gotta be able to safely and comfortably address the question. This world today that we're living in, I mean, the question of sex is that's a whole can of worm by itself. But it's important to discuss. It's important to establish very early in the relationships. Do I have likes and dislikes when it comes to sex? Do I have lines that I'm not going to cross when it comes to sex? Because they have some freaks out there that wants to go some places that they shouldn't go. So you gotta be able to answer those questions and look at the person, look at body language, listen to what they're saying. Very important. Are you comfortable? Here is somebody we've not been to bed. We're now getting to know each other. Are you comfortable to talk sex?
Of course. I'm a guy. Like, I'm always willing to talk sex. Especially when it comes to what are you comfortable with? What are your boundaries? Especially maintaining that is very important for me, for the simple fact it's just like, I want you to feel comfortable, especially comfortable around me. I don't have a problem talking sex. Like, I don't like when we put a stigma on it. Like, it's not something we all think about. Like, it's not something that we all experience. Not it's something that we don't all battle. So, like, yeah, let's talk about sex. You want on a ceiling fan or the couch? Like, it don't matter. Tell me.
Open to talk about sex. It's not really taboo. It's pretty out in the open. I don't shy away from it. I'm pretty open to talk about it. Boundaries are definitely important because, like you said, it's a freaks out here.
Yeah.
You gotta be willing to make it clear what you're going to do or what you're not going to do, and Yeah.
So, like I said, I've done a lot of counseling. I've heard all kind of stories. So here this little funny story about sex. So, so this, and I want you to listen very careful. This woman come to her pastor and she said, "Pastor, my husband is trying to do X, Y, and Z, and it's making me uncomfortable. I just feel like leaving this guy. I don't know where this relationship is going based on where this guy wants to go sexually."
Right.
And the pastor said to her, "Do you want to keep your marriage?" "Yes, pastor." "So you best go home and humble yourself and follow suit with what your husband wants." I would not give somebody that kind of counseling. Bottom line is, I believe that people should be respected. People's opinion, people's desires,
Preferences.
people preferences and all of that should be respected. But then it's a very tight line a lot of times that we have to travel on in that question, because it's a matter of how far am I willing to go to reach my partner? Because these are some of the questions we need to talk about up front. Do you have fantasies? What are those? What are the expectations? What are the boundaries that I am not going to be crossing? So we talk religion, we talk family size, we talk finances, we talk sex. So the next question you want to be able to ask and answer is about compatibility.